Hey, Michaela, Shalom. Hey, Tony.
Conference recording stopped. Conference recording started.
All right, ladies, let's go ahead and let's get started. Shalom, Most High Christ bless you all.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless you too.
Happy Sabbath to you all.
Happy Sabbath to you too.
I'm glad everybody peeled themselves away from their comfort zone. Those who still in motion of pulling themselves and peeling themselves is okay. We here. Ladies, you got to remember class starts at 10 a.m. I know it's hard. We all work. We all busy Monday through Friday. Get it. I really do. I get it. But all praises that you all are here. Thank God that Most High allowed you all to be here. So now let's get into it. Let's find out what we need going forward. So let's get Matthew 26. Those that are on their way, go ahead and come through the front door because I don't think the side door is open. Matthew 26 and 6. Now when Christ, who we call Yahweh, was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. But when Yahweh understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman had done be told for a memorial of her. So like always, we give commemoration to the Sister Mary who anointed the body of Christ, who when she had an opportunity to change, she did. She took that guidance, she took the correction, and she changed, and she walked with the Christ. We may not have a physical body being here with us to walk with. He definitely left behind his steps and trademarks and instructions on what we should do and how we should do it. And so let's walk as if he was here with us in body, but remember that he's definitely here in spirit. So we give our praises for the Most High for allowing us and giving us an opportunity to wake up this morning and be able to come. Those that are, again, all praises to those that were able to make it in person. Those that are en route, all praises to get here safely. Those that are online, all praises you woke up, you heard. And so make sure you ladies send an invite out, invite someone to class, send them to class, share the class, whatever it takes. So we just give our praises to the Most High for allowing us to be here. So shalom to you all that just jumped on. Most High Yahweh shall bless you all. So we're gonna talk about that example and the example as well as that opportunity that we got to um, change and make things right. And following that example, those stepping stones that was left for us. All right, that's a lot better. All right, so let's start off in James. Book of James, chapter 1. James chapter 1 and 22. No, not 22. It started 19. James chapter 1 and 19. It says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." So, like we always do, questions. Let's go. Swift to hear. What is that? Swift to hear. What is that? What is swift to hear? What does that look like?
Quick to listen.
Quick to listen. Yep. That's obvious. That's right. Now dive a little deeper. Because we do that. We have ears. Everybody have ears. Sometimes they get clogged and sometimes they get distracted. How your ears get distracted? Your ears get distracted with your eyes. I know that sound weird. But
It don't sound weird because it does.
your ears get distracted with your eyes. Have a willingness to try to understand someone else. Absolutely. Absolutely. Have a willingness, paying attention to what the person says. Okay.
I was gonna say, like, hearing what the Lord is trying to say.
There you go. Listening for what the Lord is trying to say. And sometimes that situation that can get cloudy. Why? Because our feelings get involved. And that's where the emotional state of us, we have to learn to control that. And let every man be swift to hear, be quick. Hope this get Ecclesiastes chapter 5. This being swift to hear can go a long way. Being swift to hear can help a lot. A lot of times we find ourselves um completing each other's sentences or trying to complete a person's thought. Have you ever been in a conversation and someone talking and you saying, yeah, 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 you're agreeing because you know what the conversation, you know what the end of the conversation is about to go into. You're like, yep, 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 you agree, you understand that. But that's in a good situation. So now, Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 5, verse 1, we are going to keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Lord, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. And so that's talking about when we come in um, together into the sanctuaries. However, what about when we coming together with each other? When we coming together with each other and we having conversations, or let's say we're trying to fix a situation and talk about it, a situation, trying to understand the situation. We supposed to be more ready to what? Hear than to give the sacrifice for fools. So now, with that being said, what would be the sacrifices of fools? What would be the sacrifices of fools?
Would be the ignorant things that they do.
Say it one more time.
The ignorant things that they do.
Okay, the ignorant things. Uh, Help me understand what you're saying.
I don't know, because usually when you're foolish, you're ignorant because you don't know.
Okay. I get you. When you don't know certain things, you do things ignorantly, not knowing, and things like that is what she's trying to say.
Mhm.
Hold this. Let's get Proverbs chapter 14. Anybody else? Proverbs chapter 14 and verse. What was the question?
What is the sacrifice of fools?
Right. What are sacrifices of fools? Right. So Proverbs 14 and verse 17. It says, he that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. I'll say it again. I'll read it again. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. So why did we get this scripture?
That's being a part of a sacrifice of fools.
What's being part of a
Or
sacrifice?
being angry.
There you go. Dealing in anger is a sacrifice that we choose, which makes us deal foolish. Hold on, guys. Right. So go back. So it says, he that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. So lose that and go back to Ecclesiastes 5. And we're going to read the second precept again, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. Listening to understand what a situation is, what a person is saying, how things are going, trying to understand the circumstance and the situation. Um, oh, you sacrifice um you sacrifice all the things that you work for, all the hard work that you put in. You sacrifice that to do what? Be so angry because you don't like something. Um, okay, Tanae said attending class with no intention of applying what is taught. You're sacrificing time, but foolishly. So it's she's saying you're giving effort of coming, showing up, but you don't have no intentions of doing what's right. It's all right. I'm sorry. Is anything going on with the live? Can you guys hear me on Facebook? You can hear me? Okay. You sure? It just popped up, said something about audio.
It might be a little delayed, but now
Right.
it's buffering.
Huh?
Now it's buffering.
Yeah. All right. Let me know. Anybody else on Facebook? Let me know.
Our signal is just turning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's saying it's trying to connect. All right, let's see what we got going on now. Don't jump off. It was just I had a message pop up saying something about the audio. All right. So, for they consider not that they do evil. And so when we sacrifice what's right and give place to the spirit that shows up, we have to know that, what does it say? We have to consider that we're doing evil. When we sacrifice that time of showing up to class, but you're not attentive and you're not paying attention, you have to know and consider that you are possibly doing something evil. Why? Because we supposed to be here doing what? Learning. There you go. Growing, learning to grow. Coming to class, reading, studying. We have to know that we're learning to do what? Grow. So now, go back. Uh, James 1:19. It says, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man, woman, child be swift to hear, be quick to listen, listen with learning so that you can grow. Figure out, try to listen to what a person is trying to show you or tell you that you did, even if you don't feel like you did anything wrong. Say, for instance, you feel like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong, and maybe you did it. Now, what are we listening for? Because a lot of times, if we feel like we have not done anything wrong, we haven't said anything wrong, we tend to close our ears and not listen. But we should be listening. What should we be listening for at this moment?
How to be better.
How to be better, okay, but you didn't do anything wrong.
Right, so I'm saying like some things are
Speak up
like,
for me.
I was gonna say yeah, like some things are technically not wrong, but there's a better way of doing things, like or more like spiritual way of doing something.
Okay, a better way, a more spiritual way of doing things. Okay, what'd you say?
Be quick to hear the spirit in others.
Speak up for me.
Be quick to hear the spirit in others.
It's quick to hear the spirit in others. Okay, anybody else? How about um let's let's piggyback off of what the spirit in others. What about what causes, okay, good. Listening for things others see that we don't, right? Because there are things that people are going to see that we don't see because we're not standing in the mirror. Now, if we're standing in the mirror, we can see those things, correct? Yeah, we can see those things. Now, you ain't done nothing though, but they have an issue. And she said, hey, let's listen for a better way. Okay, that better way, listening for to better a way, finding a different way to keep down offenses. Something you said now or something you did. Now you may not have done anything, but something happened that offended this person. We shouldn't fan our hand, fan it away. We shouldn't not take heed, but why should we listen? To help us become a better person that we may, at the end of the situation, gain. And what we need to do is gain that person because that person is offended somewhere. Now, if they're wrong, there's a way to gain that person even when they're wrong. Taking the offense of fanning off, yeah, blowing it off, yeah, or blowing it off, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me, or that's a you problem. Take that, that's something you got to do with yourself. Gain that person, help them understand something that they misunderstood. That takes time, that takes effort. Helping someone to see something that they misunderstood, that's helping them grow. That's helping them grow and go through something that they just experienced. And how do you do that? By explaining. Swift to hear. The next one says slow to speak. What is the slow to speak? Now remember, they're offended. What is the slow to speak?
Slow to speak, don't be so quick to overtalk that person that's relaying a message to you.
Okay. Overtalk. How can you overtalk a person?
Cut them off.
Cut them off. What else?
Interrupt them when they speaking.
I'm sorry.
By interrupting them when they are speaking.
Right. Interrupting them. Anybody else?
Only talking about what you want to talk about. Like they're talking about something completely different. You're still trying to get your point across.
Okay. All right. Understanding situations and circumstances. Listening from their aspect. Listening from their point of view. Anybody else? So go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Now let's read verse 2. Okay. Verse 2 says, be not rash with thy mouth. What does that mean? Be not rash with thy mouth.
Like, don't be harsh.
Don't be harsh. Okay. Think about yourself. Be not rash with thy mouth. Okay. Michelle said, being mindful of what you're saying and how you're saying it, not to offend that person and getting their understanding. Not just understanding yours. Okay.
Let your words be seasoned with salt.
So what do you mean? Let your words be seasoned with salt. Help me understand.
Being charitable, humble, meek, not raggy mouth and talking to people.
Okay. Okay. Give me some other words with other than rash. Aggressive. Yep.
Profanity.
Profanity.
Hostile.
Hostile. Mm-hmm.
Petty.
So what do you mean by heady?
Petty.
Oh, you said petty with the P. All right, petty. What's another word for petty? Because a lot of times people don't understand what petty is.
Sarcastic.
There you go. Sarcastic. Sarcastic. That pettiness, like rendering evil for evil. Disrespectful, right? So it says, be not rash with thy mouth. Now, let's pay close attention to rash with our mouth, because we can definitely be rash with our mouth. And you don't even have to yell. You don't have to raise your voice. That's where that pettiness comes in at. That's where that sarcasm comes in at. And so a lot of times we don't think that sarcasm or pettiness or rendering evil for evil is rash. Your words. Do you not know? Let's get this. Hold this and let's get let's see. See if I can find it. Matthew 12. Let's see what Christ says. Matthew chapter 12. And verse okay, verse 34. Let's start there. It says, we're in Matthew 12, verse 34. O generation of vipers. A viper is a type of snake, a venomous snake. So now, the Lord called us a generation of vipers. How can ye, being evil, speak good things? A person that is evil, are they going to speak good things? Absolutely not. So now, what about a person that's righteous, doing what's right, keeping the commandments? How can you speak evil? We have to know that when we go from speaking nice and now we are now speaking evil, speaking rash, we have just did what? What was we talking about in the beginning? We have just sacrificed and have become foolish. You sacrificed your obedience. You sacrificed your goodness. You sacrificed um, being defrauded to now speaking foolish. So it says, O generation of vipers, how can ye this says being evil. What about being righteous, speak evil things? It says, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak it. So when we open up our mouth, it's going to show if you dressed. What does that mean? When we open up our mouth, it's going to show that we are dressed.
Our fruit,
Okay, what do you mean? Speak clear.
our behavior, how we behave and portray ourselves with others,
Okay,
communication.
okay. How does, what was the question?
How can people determine when we open our mouth?
Right. How the fruit is dressed. The things that we come out of our mouths and say is going to show how you are dressed, what you maintain. So let me make it, let me clear it up. You study all day, every day, 2-3 times a week, 4 times a week, 7 days a week, and you open up your mouth with foolishness. What availeth your washing? Your mouth should show the things that you have studied. All the studying should help you bring forth, you know what? Restraints. Because it shows what you have dressed. For it says, for out of the abundance of the heart, your mind, the mouth speaketh. So whatever is in your mind, you know, people be like, I just speak my mind. Well, guess what? I'm gonna filter mine first.
Amen.
Let me go ahead and filter my mind first, because I need for you, Q, to see the spirit. The spirit of who? The Most High through Yahushua, the spirit of Yahushua. I need you to see the hard work. Then I need the Lord to see the hard work that I put in and that I'm trying. And so I'm saying so let me say we should definitely filter our mind and our thoughts before we open up our mouth to say anything, because we need each other. We need to see the spirit of the Most High through Yahweh come from each and every last one of you. Why? Because we all need to be what? Fed and led. However, if you through what we say, pettiness, sarcasm, low key, you just sacrificed your salvation for about 5 seconds. And you don't have control of your heartbeat. You know, I was driving in the car the other day, and I don't know where, I think I was just leaving my parents. And I was just thinking about my parents when they were young. At the time as a kid, parents don't always look young. But as I calculate being the age that I am now, and I'm calculating mentally my parents, I'm like, dang, my parents, they did everything under the sun, had no consequences. They didn't think about the things that they're doing, that they did then in their youth, was going to cause an effect at their age that they are now. They didn't know then that they will have strokes, they will have impairments, blindness. So just because you get up in the morning and you say, Our Father, if you're not saying that, please start. Please start. It don't hurt you to take a few seconds out of your day to give praise because you opened up your eyes today. Guess what? Opening your eyes is a privilege. Listen, ladies, opening our eyes every day is a privilege because you don't have to. The other day, I rode past a crime scene. I'm sick of it. It was a block long. Saturday. Then you hear on. This is another reason why I love my Facebook family, and I put it back on my phone just for today, for Saturdays, to make sure that we are sitting here. But throughout the week, no ma'am. Every time I open up my phone, somebody died. Now everybody going to jail. How a 7-month-old get shot?
That's crazy. I saw that.
That's sad. Children, females, these children now, oh my God. My heart goes out. And so through that thought process that I had, I'm like, dang, they didn't sign up for the stuff that they did. So now I'm like, Lord, let me get myself together. Let me filter. Let me think. Let me filter my thought process. Because I too can be petty. I too can be mean. I too can be angry. I too can be mouthy. But guess what? I choose to keep that person dead. You know how you know you? I know me. We know ourselves. No one else knows that part about you. So now, when we think about it, let's finish. It says, for out of the abundance of the heart, your mouth speak. So now let's change what's in our heart and let's speak that. So we got to learn to swap those things out for righteousness' sake. When the old person died, the old person mouth died too. And when the new person came, all the studying that you do, that replaces the vocabulary that died with the old person. I know that sounds funny, but that's true. That is true. I be pleading with the Lord. I be like, nah, Lord, you know, my mouth, just close it for me because I don't want to have to give an account for the verbiage.
Amen.
Because ladies, for real, and I'm joking, but with all jokes aside, you will give an account for the verbiage. I'm sorry. I don't want to. Again, I always say I already have to give an account for the verbiage that I done put out here in this world. Okay, I don't want to keep adding to it. The verbiage gets real. So now, verse 35, it says, a good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things. So now, what is the good man or the good woman or the good person? What is that? You know, all those long days and nights that we study, we're begging, increasing our prayer. Ladies, increase your prayers. I cannot express that enough. That is so important. Increase your pray about it. If I hit my toe, I'm praying. For real. If I get out cut off in traffic, I'm praying. I'm be like, Lord, you know, see, I need to just make it from point A to point B. Why? Because the Lord is in control of everything. You know, my children call me paranoid. I call them cautious. Call me paranoid. I call it cautious. Because I think about every single thing. At least I try to. At least I try to. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I mean, I thought of a scripture that's really what you're saying. It's super good, but I can just read it.
The scripture that came to mind when you were talking was Proverbs 10:19.
Say, I'm sorry. Speak up for me.
The scripture that came to mind while you were talking was Proverbs 10:19.
Proverbs 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hold this. Let's get it.
It is verse 19.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry, Mr. David. This is a class for women, but you also got to remember you may have new people on there that may not know that. So I ask that you please back out this class. This class is for women only. Thank you. I'm sorry. Say it for me. Say it again. Proverbs
10 and 19.
10. Okay, let me get it. All right, go ahead. Oh yeah, that was the next one that we was gonna get. But go ahead, you got it. It's okay.
That's funny. Yes, it's Proverbs 10 and 19. It says, "In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin." It says, "But he that refraineth his lips is wise." In the first part of the precept, it says in the multitude of words, so we know that she was just making a point about, how much we can sin just simply by the things that we say, and the necessity for a filter of those things, so that obviously we don't sin as much, because people can get confused where it says there wanteth not sin. A replacement word or a more understanding word would be lacketh. So meaning like wanteth is a form of like lack, because you don't have something. So it's saying in the multitude of words there lack not sin. So meaning that you have an abundance of that. It's not literally the opposite. Abundance of sin because of the amount of words that we tend to speak when we're in these situations.
And so, not to cut you off, I'll give it back.
Yeah.
Where it says lack. So now the wording that we choose to use, we have to know that that sacrifice that we have sacrificed to choose, those words that we have sacrificed to choose to use, we make a choice. You're not going to be without sin. That's what lack means. Somewhere you're gonna find, and you know how. So you know how. Have you ever been in a situation and you're like, I don't even understand how I'm wrong, because now you started off in one way, and now the situation is now you being corrected, and you're like, well, I don't even understand how I'm being corrected. How am I wrong? Because the words that you began to choose to use, it didn't like. Because now it was accompanied and it was coupled with feelings and emotions. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And the second part saying, "But he that refraineth his lips is wise." So, we know from, attending classes and, being taught over time that, staple things like, the door and the bar for our mouths, and, not giving the water passage, things of that nature, that is a form of, restraint and filtering. These are the things that are going to turn it into, because it says is wise. We know that wisdom is going to include the action of the things that you know. So it's turning you wise because you're actually doing the things that you know, which is the scriptures that were being taught over time. So yeah.
Okay. And so, but he that refraineth his lips, what's another word for refrain? Refrain. I was just getting ready to say it. Refrain. What's another word for refrain?
To hold back.
Hold back.
Just be quiet.
Being quiet.
To stop.
To stop.
Or resist.
There you go. That was the one I was getting ready to say. Resistant. It takes resistance. You're like, you know what? I ain't even finna let me. But sometimes we can't. We feel like we're gonna be a person is gonna get over, or a person's gonna win. What did they win? Hey, Yashay. What did they win? Y'all know what the game of Price is Right? The Price is Right? That's an old school game show. What the host used to say, come on down. You're the next contestant on what? On The Price is Right. Right? But when you don't refrain, you know what you won. You the next contestant on getting your butt whooped. You just fell in line. Okay. You decided you're gonna be the next contestant. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm going to the back of the line. Yes, ma'am.
Probably that's why we should. What Sirach 32 and 8 says, let your speech be short.
Yes.
Be blah, 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 blah. The more you talking, thoughts gonna come in. If you're not controlling or filtering your words.
That's what Christ said. That's what Christ did. Remember, he said when he was reviled, we'll get that. We done with Proverbs. All right, let's get First Peter. First Peter chapter 2. Right. Definitely. You win chastisement from the Lord. Absolutely. First Peter chapter 2. And we'll start it. Start at 19. So it says, for this is thankworthy. Let's find out what's thankworthy, worthy to be thanked, worthy to be have a pat on the back, worthy to get that a girl situation. It says, for this is thankworthy. It says man, but let's use woman. If a woman for conscience towards God, meaning because your mind is toward the Most High through Yahushua, working out your salvation, endure grief. Enduring things that grieve you, enduring things that trouble you, filtering your thought, your mind, you're going to endure situations and circumstances and words that are thrown at you. Suffering what? Wrongfully. You ain't even do nothing. Now, remember, this situation and this talk started with saying, what if you didn't do nothing? And this person has an alt or a feeling or emotion. They feel some type of way. Suffering wrongfully. For verse 20, for what glory is it if when ye be buffeted, meaning corrected, cleansed, for your faults, ye shall take it patiently. What glory is it? Why you feel like you need to be glorified because you didn't give place to Satan, and in your mind you felt convicted and you gonna take that, you gonna sit there, you like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take that. I did that. That's on me. You want that to be looked at, you did something above and beyond. No, you don't get the above and beyond on that. So you taking it patiently and you sitting there and taking the correction, that's what you're supposed to do. So you know how we tell children when they like, well, can I get paid to take trash out? You're like, that's what you should. That's what you're supposed to do. You didn't do nothing above and beyond. Now, when you go above and beyond the scope of me telling you every day to do something, then talk to me. But other than that, let's start going above and beyond. But to take patiently something that you're supposed to be not doing, I mean, that's something you're supposed to be doing anyway. Okay. But if when you do well, now let's the script has changed. You're doing good. You're minding your own self business. You're doing what you're supposed to do and suffer for it. And now you in the hot seat for doing something good. Wait a minute now. You take it patiently. You're like, you know what? I ain't gonna even justify myself. I ain't gonna even try to protect me from being hurt. I'm not gonna protect myself. I'm not gonna even give. You know how we like, no, I'm not gonna let them get over because I didn't do anything, right? For if you take it patiently, this is acceptable. With who? With God. We're trying to be acceptable to man when we're supposed to be acceptable to God. Everybody else, when you're acceptable to God, guess what? Men gonna fall in line. They gonna accept it. Verse 21, for even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, point, leaving us an example that we should follow. What? His steps. Verse 23, who did no sin, he didn't break the law. Neither was guile found in his mouth. Lies. So the things that he told us, he didn't lie to you about it. He's trying to tell you how to obtain the thing that he have obtained. And he left you a blueprint on how to do it. Because remember, Mary Magdalene had him there to show her and correct her. But guess what? We're left the blueprint. We're left with the reason. We are left with the know-how. We have it written every day, all day with us. Leaving us an example that we should follow. He didn't sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. Who, verse 23, when he was reviled. What does revile mean? Disrespected. Because we feel disrespected. Get it? To criticize strongly, harshly, abusively, insult with insulting language. When we get reviled, when we get talked to harshly, strongly, abusively, insulting language, pettiness, tone, attitude, what happens? it triggers something within you. So now I said the word trigger, but what does it do? That spirit,
You're angry.
Yep.
Involved.
That spirit jump on you. How can it jump on you? How can a spirit jump on you? I'll tell you. Say it again.
You didn't have your armor of the Most High on.
Okay, you didn't have on your armor. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. That's another way.
You gave place to that spirit that was on that person,
What? So what did that? What does that mean?
that you gave into it.
So what does that mean? That's right. You opened up the door. You opened up the door and let it in.
Wasn't slow to speak.
You opened up the door. What was the word that we've been using since the beginning? You sacrificed that. You sacrificed your righteousness. You said, hold on, let me sit this down for just 1 second.
Lay my religion down as the Christian folks.
Hey, you sacrificed. And guess what? You didn't think that your sacrifice was going to cost you. See, we think we have to be, you got to put down a lot of sacrifice. You sacrificed. So now, who when he was reviled not again. What does that mean? Again, not again. Does that mean that he reviled before and he just didn't do it again? What does that mean?
Like he didn't go back to what he used to.
We talking about the Christ.
Oh, okay.
So that's why that was the question. So is it saying that he didn't go back to what he was used to?
He didn't cuss them out back. He didn't do that.
Say it again.
He didn't verbally abuse them like they did him. He didn't do that.
Okay. It says, who when he was reviled not again.
Meaning the first person did it the first time. Like the person you're talking to reviled you, and that was the first night. And then again would have been if he said something back.
Okay. He didn't say anything back. He didn't do it because the next person did it. Anything else? That was not something he chose. He didn't do it because the next person did it. He didn't allow the things that they were saying to cause him to, yep, that's a good word. Tanae said he didn't match energy.
She said, what?
He didn't match energy. Because that's what we do. We match energy. And it's second nature. When he suffered, he threatened not. What does that mean? Absolutely. Huh?
He was suffering with being abused and assaulted, and he didn't even threaten him back.
Okay. So what does that mean? When he suffered, he threatened not.
The rashness,
Huh?
like avoiding being rash, and like, like you're not giving off, the aggressive energy or saying that you're, I don't know how to explain, like just being argumentative.
Okay. He didn't get argumentative. He didn't give off the threatening behavior. He didn't come out of the spirit.
Right.
He took the low. Okay.
He didn't render the evil that was being done unto him.
He didn't
back.
render the evil. It said, and he threatened not.
It also could mean like he didn't take it personally, because when someone sees a threat, like they're perceiving something to be like a danger to themselves. I don't know how to explain it. So like obviously if you don't see people as a threat, then that's not going to move you any type of way.
Okay, so I like that, and so that's kind of what I was looking for when I was like, he threatened not. So what does that mean? That Christ didn't threaten? He threatened not. So use the same words that you just said, but now put it towards Christ. He didn't show his capabilities. He didn't show his capabilities. And so now you say, okay, Kasai, what do you mean that he didn't show his capabilities? We verbally or physically with facial expressions, body language, show people our capabilities of, oh, okay, I can get, but I'm not. Let me walk away before you. That is a threat, because now you're telling people your capabilities. Now you're threatening. Because you were suffering, you suffered. That suffering you went through with people antagonizing you, verbally bullying you, physically cussing you out, physically. Listen, he threatened not. But let's find out what he did do. But committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. Now, what does that mean? What did he do?
Committed himself to the Father.
Say it again.
Committed himself to the Father.
What do you mean? You're saying the same thing.
He applied the words that the Father had left, the instructions.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm breaking this down so that we can mentally think about ourselves. So commit means to dedicate oneself, pledge to a specific course of action, perform an action. So he didn't threaten not, he didn't revile, but he committed himself. He performed an action to the person that told him what to do, that judged righteously. And so with us, we have to make a choice to stand 10 toes down for what's right, and not when we are being reviled or when we're being threatened or when we are being in situations, we resort back to sacrificing ourselves to foolishness. But that we commit ourselves to the one that judgeth righteously, and know that even in this situation and circumstance, the Most High through Yahushua is going to reign. He allowed himself, right? Ina said he yielded to the Most High's will for vengeance in the Father, because vengeance is the Father. And what that means is he committed, he stood 10 toes down and was right, even in that moment of hardship, he decided to stand strong and suffer wrongfully without threatening and allowed the Lord to fight the battle. Because, ladies, you got to remember that no matter what the circumstance is and who the person is, the who defends you. See, we good at quoting that when there aren't any hard times or fires. We good at saying, "Oh, the Lord comes through." But what happens when that oven get turned up to 400? Or them coals get set in and they turn red? Where is that same mind state and that same state of mind that guess what? The Lord is going to revenge. We have got to stick to the program still, no matter what. Hey, you know how you take a plate or take something and you touch, you're like, oh, okay, this it's hot, but it ain't that hot. You're like, oh, okay, it's cool, it's hot, but it ain't going. That's the chance that we take. Now let that mug be in the oven for 400. You be like, nah, I'm gonna need that to cool off for a second. Not to mention it's sitting on top of some glowing coals. You're like, no, no, move that over here for a second, let it cool off. That's how I feel about hot food. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna eat my food lukewarm. I ain't gonna lie. Cause trying to chance my mouth, I don't think so. That's how we gotta be about our life. I don't want to chance my life. We still have to have that same. That's what Christ did. He committed himself. He said, I'm gonna stay strong. I'm gonna let the Lord handle this. I'm gonna let the Lord. Ladies, hey, that's what we need to begin. Letting the Lord handle. Yes, it's a scary situation. Yes, the circumstance don't feel great at that moment. You get heart palpitations, you start sweating, ears get the burning. You like, hold on now, Lord, you there? Cause the last one I wasn't moved at all. We talking about the ones that make us move. That's when you supposed to commit even more. If he showed up for you on that light one, you gotta have faith that he's gonna show up for you in that fiery one too. It just takes a little bit longer. Why does it take a little bit longer? We don't want it to take long on that fiery one because our knees start buckling. You're like, hold on now, I'm getting a little shaky here. That's when you're supposed to pray and be like, okay, I thugged it out on that last one. That was no sweat. That was easy breezy. But through that hard one, you're supposed to do the same thing. Help me up. I'm drowning. I was walking on water on that last one. Now I think that my legs turning into wet sandbags. I'm sinking. Like, come on, Lord, where you at? And we supposed to look to the Lord to bring us out. The same way we look to the Lord to bring us out of the simple things. So now, lose that. That was the point. Go back to Ecclesiastes, right? Yep. Chapter 5. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You have to search for him while you're in the fire. You have to look. You gotta go back. You gotta go back and check where you gotta scroll your mental thought process. Think about the things that you read. Think about class. Think about, how did you get to that circumstance? How did you get to that point? Go back to the beginning and find out and look and scan your every move, your every step to find out what did you miss. Did I say this? And so at those moments, it's hard. It can be hard to focus on yourself when you are focusing on other people. We gotta stop focusing on the person and focus on the situation and circumstance that you're in. Okay, what's my next step? What do I do next? How do I deal with this? So we had Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 2. Again, I start from the top. And be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty, meaning quick, to utter anything before the Lord. Why? Because sometimes people through quickness, they'll be yapping at the Lord like he did it. Like he was the reason that you chose to open up your mouth and bring. Or you landed in that fire. Like, okay, this is my moment, this is my time. What do I need to do quickly? If your house was on fire, listen up. If your house was on fire, would you sit there and wait till the fire get worse? It's a kitchen fire. Or you gonna sit there and wait till the fire spread to the bedroom before you call 911?
I'm gonna break out some flour first. Ask somebody, yeah, call them, you know.
Are you gonna sit there and wait? Or are you gonna do like Davida said? She gonna take action. Now, what happens if your action ain't actioning?
Somebody should have been calling 911 as I had this action going.
But you're there by yourself.
If I'm there by myself.
You there by
I'm
yourself.
running out, calling.
So now you there by yourself. Fire break out. You took action. But your actions is not actioning.
I'm calling for help.
There you go. Or you taking action in the fire of adversity, and the fire is getting larger. Are you sitting in that fire, still trying to take action? You got to keep running back and forth to the sink. When help comes with an extinguisher. That's what you need to consider. Because now we at talking to the Lord like, Lord, you put me in this. You can get me out. Your house on fire here. You need to take action. You need to call backup. But because you calling backup, that don't mean stop taking action. For God is in heaven and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be what? Few. Why? Because back in Proverbs chapter 10 and 19, it says, in the multitude of words, there wanted not sin. So you're not going to be innocent. You're going to be proven guilty because the words that you let go by And so your actions can be help to help you through the situations that you encounter, not because you're trying to prove a point, but because you're trying to sacrifice, but sacrifice how? Sacrifice righteously. Lose this. Um, let's get. Did we finish? We're holding something. What are we holding?
Just Matthew and James. I don't know if you're done.
Matthew who?
It was Matthew
12.
12.
Yep. Go back to Matthew 12. Matthew chapter 12. And we'll start at 35. It says, a good man or a good woman out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things. You're going to commit yourself and you're going to take action, righteous action, and you're going to call in the help that you need in that situation. You're going to bring forth the good things. You're going to bring forth the things that you supposed to bring forth. And an evil man out of evil treasure bringing forth evil things. But if you're not replacing evil for righteousness, that's what happens. You're going to bring forth evilness. You're going to bring forth unrighteousness every time. You're going to bring forth evil every time because you're not swapping out. You are, you're just sitting. You're not, your intentions, you're not having intentions on applying. You're just listening. So verse 36, but I say unto you, and this is where we need to consider if we want to bring forth heavy words or a mouthful of words, or if we're going to justify what we're doing and what we're saying. It says, but I say unto you that every idle word, so you young girls, listen up. You don't get a redo and you don't get a retake on or a take back on the things that come out of your mouth. It says that every idle single, every word that man, woman, and child shall speak, they shall give an account. You're going to have to give an account for the things that you speak out of your mouth. Now, you may not have to give an account to flesh and human the day that you speak it or the moment that you speak it. But guess what? The Lord records and he hears the voices and he knows who said what when they said it. And so when your day comes, you're going to have to give an account on the things that you said that may have offended someone, hurt someone, loved someone, picked up someone, helped someone. You will have to give an account. It says, They shall give an account, therefore, in the day of judgment. Why'd you say that, young girl? Because my mama told me to. Huh? Oh, well, you okay. My friend did it. My friend said it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was okay. I did it because this person needed it. I did it because I felt like this is what I want somebody to do for me. This is what I want somebody to say for me. Do it for the reason. I did it because this is what I thought was right. I was trying to help. I was trying to hurt. See, when it's the right thing, we like I was trying to help. But when it's the wrong thing, why we don't say I was trying to hurt? Because you was. I was trying to hurt. They hurt me, I'ma hurt them back.
Make them feel my
There you go. I wanted to show them how I felt. That's 100. That's honest. If you're going to do something, if you're going to elect to be wrong, elect to own up to the wrong. Why try to manipulate the situation and play innocent? Oh, I didn't mean it, or I wasn't trying. No, own up to it because you stood 10 toes down when you did it.
Amen.
So own up to it and say, you know what, I did it. This is why. Why should we choose that route so that we can get the right cleansing that's going to cleanse that situation? You know, I tell people all the time. So, sometimes people call me and they ask, hey, Kasai, can you help? I tell them all the time, listen, my help is only going to go so far. Why? Because I can only help with what you gave me. If you give me half truth, you're going to get half the help. Not because I want to give half the help, but that's all you gave. That's all you gave me to go off of. And sometimes people don't see that. They tell the situation both sides. But I can only judge one side. Why? Because there's only one person here. And then I come to find out when the next person come in, I'm like, you left that out. You left that out. You didn't bring forth the whole thing. So I'm saying, ladies, when we elect and we sacrifice foolishness, go ahead and accept the reward for foolishness. And now ask, how do I get rid of the foolishness? And not come up under the blanket of ignorance. Yeah, it's not ignorance. It's ignorance only goes so far. Ignorance only goes so far. You know that ignorance be catching you by surprise. You be like, I didn't know I was supposed to, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't think that. It's not somebody telling you. Ignorance ain't, well, I ain't mean it like that. Oh, you meant it some way. Own up to it. That's all I'm saying. You contemplated in your mind. You thought about the situation. So, verse 37, For by thy words, the things that you speak, thou shalt be justified. Now, it goes back to what we talked about earlier about what if you what if you really didn't mean it and they offended? By your words be justified, and don't couple your justification with low-key, petty sidebar. You be commit yourself to the heavenly Father who is going to judge righteously in the midst of that situation, that you may gain your friend. A lot of times we go into these situations and know you didn't do anything, but you don't commit yourself unto the righteousness and allow the Lord to judge the situation. We walk away from the situation, leaving that person with, that's on you. But you don't realize that they are offended in something that you did. Help them understand why you chose what you chose. That's a conversation. That's not a low key. That's not a petty. That's not a how dare you. Let me help you understand. Why? When you help somebody understand what you did, they willing to walk with you. They like, okay, they got a choice. Either I'm going to forgive you or I'm going to keep it pushing. But whose fault is it if they keep it pushing? That's on now. That's a them. But let's put in an effort to help that person understand what the issue and problem is. And so it says, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. That cut out ignorance. Someone quoted this precept, not the last class that we had, about in Revelations, about lukewarm. Either you're gonna be hot or cold. It ain't no in between. Either you know or you don't. That in between gonna get you judged. Period. Ladies, I'll say it again. Either you doing it or you not. The in between gonna get you judged. Because it look like you doing it, you making a choice. Knowing to do good and doing it not, to him it is what? Okay. Why is that? Because somebody is teaching you and you electing not to do it. That's that in between. You elect how you feel in your emotions, when you want to and when you don't want to. We can't do that. I mean, let me take that back. Let me take it back. I wouldn't advise you do. I wouldn't advise you. You know, adulting looks different through my lens. I waited all my life to be an adult. Who in here waited all their life to become an adult? Oh, just me?
When I was 14, I was like, I can't wait till I get grown.
There you go. We the only ones? Okay, cool. Y'all children can't wait till y'all get grown. There you go. And I put y'all on blast, but it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to read y'all mind. Yeah. Online, I know I can't see your hands, but I know it's some people online that couldn't wait till they got grown.
get there, you're gonna wish you were a child.
And so people be like, I need to go back. And so they look at that and they like, man, let me go back to being a kid.
Hello.
I laugh at young adults. I really do. And I have young adults. My children are young adults. And I know this may sound mean, but I do. I laugh. Because they so quick to tell me they grown. I'd be like, you're right. They'd be like, Mama, you do too much. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm grown. And see, this is where the scriptures cut me. Because as soon as I get text messages and be like, Mama, can you cash out? It'd be like, but you grown. Like, what? Like, you grown, right? Oh, no, I ain't got that. That young one be like, but I'm still your child. No, you're grown. Like, what? Remember, you are grown, right? See? I laugh at these young adults because they think they got it until they get their behinds in a bind and they turn 15 again. You be like, wait a minute. You ain't never been called mama, ma'am, a day in your life in a long time. That's how we get. We get our behinds in a bind. You know those days you forgot? I forgot to pray to the Lord. I ain't think to pray to the Lord. That just wasn't on my mind to pray to the Lord. That bug got snatched up and you like, Lord, yeah, what happened? You thought you was grown. Okay, cool. Condemned, justified. So you children, watch what you say out of your mouth, because the Lord is not mocked at all. He coming through. I'm watching every day. I'm telling you, I will open up on news, social media. Listen, Jeremiah 17. Yeah, I know y'all be laughing at me. Don't laugh at me. I just be saying stuff that y'all be in y'all head saying and then correcting it. Like, Jeremiah 17 and 9. It says, the heart, your mind is deceitful. It'll deceive you to think that what you're doing is correct. It will make you think that the choices or the not choice, what word we've been using all day? Sacrifice. The sacrifice that you made was an okay sacrifice. But remember, you got to give an account for the things that come out of your mouth. You got to give an account for the way that you respond. The heart is deceitful above all things. Your feelings, you young ladies, listen up. Those feelings that you get, those emotional states that you get when you are not feeling your best and you get into your own head and you feel some type of way and you just saying, this is how I feel. This is me. This is just what I think. Well, guess what? It says those things are deceitful. What does deceitful mean, Mia? Don't be afraid. I'm going to get you the right definition. Just tell me what you think it is.
A lie. Not true.
Mia?
Oh, no.
Huh?
Um,
Tricked. Okay. Dallas. I can't hear you, baby. What does deceitful mean?
Making somebody break apart. Making someone believe something that's not true.
There you go. Making someone believe something that's not true. Okay, now go ahead. Now you can say what you was finna say, Veronica.
Just said, not true, fake, false.
Fake, false. Okay, anybody else?
I would say like a distortion because sometimes it doesn't have to be like so obviously wrong. It's like,
There you go. So now let's get the definition. And I like to get definitions because my mentals, I take definitions and I can picture things a lot better. And so that's why I teach in in that way, because sometimes when you don't understand a word, you can't really get the grasp of what the things mean. It says the heart, your mind is deceitful. So now deceit, the definition of deceit is the act of intentionally misleading. Your mind has the ability to be intentional. Intentional means you have zeroed in. It says the act of intentionally misleading, tricking. So if a person trick you, they had an intention. Or hiding the truth to gain an unfair advantage. So that's why people lie. And I tell people all the time, you grown, there's no need for you to be lying. Adults, why we lying? Children lie. Why?
They behind from getting whipped.
There you go. There you go. That's the only reason children lie. So now I ask you adults, why you lying? Who whooping you?
Right.
who whooping you? What you lying to me for? When the Lord gonna whoop you anyway. You lying to me because I ain't the Lord. The Lord ain't tell me to get nothing. Because you need to stand in 10 toes down. You stood 10 toes to say and do what you did and said. Stand 10 toes to accept the chastening that comes with it. The chastening is only the correction from the scriptures to tell you that you did something wrong. Fix it. I am not going to put you on punishment. Q. I am not going to take your car keys, Oxa. That's what we do to children. But as adults, you got to live with that. So why lie to me? Help me help you. Why lie to each other? Help us help you. Now, again, or hiding the truth to gain an unfair advantage. That advantage that you're trying to gain by being deceitful is going to be unfair, and it's not going to get you what you thought you was going to get, or cause someone to believe something that is false. You cause somebody to believe that you're being honest and you're not. That's deceit. You allowed your mind, you subjected yourself, you sacrificed, not subject, you sacrificed honesty with dishonesty. You sacrificed your freedom for, you sacrificed your freedom, or you sacrificed your friendship for some type of gain. The heart is deceitful. You're not going to get it. And desperately wicked. What is desperate?
You would do any.
There you go. Desperate. You need it so bad, or you want it so bad. The thing about it is, are you going to get it? Not the way. Nope. Sometimes people feel like they do get it, and sometimes they do get it. But when they get it, it's only for a moment. It's only for brief. Or it's going to cause more problems because of the way it happened. So now, desperately wicked. It'll do whatever to get it. Who can know it? Who knows that though?
Most High.
All right. Who knows that though?
You yourself probably even know it.
But you said the Most High. That's right. So I repeated it again so that we can put that into our mind. Who knows this? That the heart is deceitful above all things, better than anybody walking. The Lord knows it. And if the Lord knows it, then what happens? The Lord will try to tell you that what you're doing is not good. The Lord would try to tell you, he would remember the analogy with the fire. You put in your effort, but you're gonna sit there and let the house burn down. You're gonna sit there and continue to go through it until you burn the entire house down. There's a house on our block that is completely collapsed. And it completely collapsed during the tornado. And every day we pass this house, Barry's like, wow, look, Bubba, you house broken. I mean, it's completely a pile of bricks. That was an actual house that was standing. The tornado came. Did nothing hit it. Wind brought it to nothing. So I'm using an analogy to say it doesn't take another individual to bring you to your lowest point. The Lord got that. He gonna do that all by himself without your help, without somebody else's help. Because you allowed your mind, your heart to be deceitful, or to deceive you to think that you are doing something correct. But let's not sacrifice and let's not be sacrifices of fools to put ourselves and allow our mind and our mouth and not take the things that we learn, the things that we pray for, to cause us to get put in that state. Sirach 37. Before we get to Rock 37, go back to James. I actually don't want to fly through this. I would rather pick up next week and finish it so that we can so that we don't have to rush through it. Verse 19. slow to speak. And the last but not least, in 19, it says slow to wrath. Slow to wrath. What will cause us to be slow to wrath?
Having self-control.
Having what?
Self-control.
Absolutely. What do you mean by having self-control?
Like knowing your limits. Like you were just saying, you already know what's in your heart, what you're doing. So if you know that certain words or things or atmospheres,
Speak up for me.
if you know what can trigger you, because you know yourself the best, you will know how to. Dang, I just lost my train of thought. But this is going for me. I'm sorry.
Take your time. What was your initial answer?
Self-control.
Having self-control. Someone help her out.
Like you know your limits. You know what can trigger you and what doesn't trigger you or what you need to work on. So if you know that you're in an environment or a situation that you know typically would take you there, you have to actively remember like having self-control over yourself. Like I know I could do this, but like
Okay.
your spirit. Yeah, just like I didn't want to say ruling your spirit because it's so universal, but I was trying to get a little more to what it is.
Got it.
Yeah, it is.
And that's true. Everything you said, that's right. Now, you took action in that house that's getting ready to burn down. But what happens when you can't find that self-control? There you go. That's the universal answer. That is absolutely the correct answer. But now let's think and speak realistically. Because that answer is the correct answer. But do we really realize that that is the correct answer?
I think sometimes in certain situations, for me personally, I would run into a situation where I think that I actually have it and then I don't, and I realize I'm supposed to call somebody. But since it's like maybe it'd be something that I haven't dealt with in a long time, but it'll creep back up, and it's like a person having an attitude with me at work, like a coworker or something. And then typically, of course, on that day to day, it's like that's nothing. Like I know, like the people I'm around, like on a day to day basis, it's easy to not get like that back with them because it's like I know these people mean well. But at work, it'll be people going off the wall that you're not typically used to, and of course, it can put you in a situation where you're tried, and you almost have to have self control because it's something that you wasn't like I guess dealing with on a day to day basis. I don't know how to explain it, but when I get on my
I get it. I understand. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, okay, you saying something else? Humorously, your house burned down.
I've had 2 real life fires in my lifetime, so I know that feeling.
They move quickly. Fire moves quickly. Quickly. I know several firefighters, and they yeah, it take only a few minutes to be in a a 5 alarm, where they need everybody on deck, people from other places. Is that it moves quickly. I think I had a dream about somebody house burned up, and in the dream the fire was on the inside of the walls. That was crazy.
That's a electrical fire.
And it kept peeking out through certain things.
there wasn't nobody in here.
Yes, it was.
Ooh. Did you tell him? Right.
Absolutely. This was years ago. This was years ago. And it actually was. It was actually an electrical. Something was going on with the electric. Yeah. It's funny when I have dreams. I don't have them often, but they be what they say dead. What? Okay, maybe on point. But slow to ride. What will keep you from being? What will help with being slow to ride? Maybe I should say it that way.
Probably the first two steps.
There you go. What you say? Say it.
The first two steps.
The first two steps. Being swift to hear. Be quick to listen. Listening first. Let me find out what is this person trying to say?
While you're being cussed out.
Huh?
Like while you're being cussed out and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie.
You're dealing with public people.
I have to, yeah.
And public people don't know no better.
You're right. And I do.
They're not mad at you though.
Right.
They're mad at the circumstance and the situation. And let me tell you why. So she deal with customer service. Customer service ain't directly mad at you as being Hodiah. They're mad at the circumstance. They're mad at the company. And you have got to have that frame of mind to say, this ain't my company. I didn't make these rules. They made these rules. And you have got to know that a spirit of anger is there, and you have to be the fire extinguisher, and and help them. So you work in an environment that gives you the exercise to help. Turn around, look at all your sisters in that exact same way. When they catch quote unquote an attitude or they get in their feelings, you got to know, okay, customer service. All right, let me help you. Let me do what I can to help you in this circumstance without taking it personal. And I'll tell you why I say that. It's because, I have to deal with people like I deal with certain. Wow, that's good. So I understand you sacrifice your desire to always want to win the argument or be right and seek to put out the fire through meekness. Like help them understand and see. Like I get on the phone and now these people been taking money to pay this bill, and I've been calling these people to tell them to change it, and they'll put me on hold and leave me on hold forever. So the bill got to a point where I intentionally didn't pay it because I knew that they would call me and tell me to pay this bill. And so when they called to say, okay, we need to pay the bill, I told them, okay, I will pay the bill when you change what I'm asking you. And when I told the lady, I said, I know, I said, I'm sorry, this ain't towards you. This is towards Spectrum. Spectrum know what they doing. So I'm not talking at you. She bust out laughing and she said, you know what? I understand. I said, I don't owe you money. I owe the company that you work for money. And I know, and I'm going to pay it as soon as you change what I'm asking you to change. And then I'm going to pay you your money. Because and so the lady went through all the notes and she's seen that I have asked them on several occasions to change it. And so she said, because you're a loyal customer, let me do something for you. Okay, fine. But change it first because what? And so I'm saying that to say they not directing it towards you. They're just frustrated at the circumstance and they just want somebody to do what? What's that 4-letter word? Help. They just want somebody to help. And so you being the help, why take it personal? Because you're the help. Help me then. I just want somebody to help. So be the firefighter and put that flame out with everything. So you see, so it starts with a prayer.
I definitely send up prayers. Like, I do things usually though. Like I know that people don't know any better. but I still go wrong about things sometimes because I'll do things like yada 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 yada. Stop what I'm doing and completely walk off. And then be like, what is this? Why did this person just leave? Oh, I could have stayed. And I could have definitely continued to keep talking to you. But if I do not walk away from this person and my boss will come, can't just walk off, but I can't go off either. I can't, like, I don't know. I just feel like no matter, you can't sometimes win with people.
Yeah,
and
you
I
can.
know that you have
It
to
can be done.
it can definitely be done, and I know it's all ultimately something that I personally.
You're gonna keep going through that until you perfect it. We all don't like people yelling at us. You be like, "Who? Wait a minute now, why
They're
we yelling?"
mean. These people are mean. Like sometimes they are mean. And I
Yeah.
do not feel like I should be talked about, bad calling names. It's hurtful. Some of the stuff that they say. And I'm all like, this is crazy. Over a car.
They trying to bully you into giving them a car.
They bully me to the side of the job. I'm not gonna say nothing back.
All right.
But, keep practicing.
All right. Oh, Axel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say to that, like, I think that people really underestimate the
Softness.
I think that people really underestimate the growth that happens when you stay in something that's uncomfortable. And I think that maybe one of the reasons why that this may happen to you on repeat is because, I mean, obviously there is a righteousness, like we've been saying in the class, there is a righteousness. Some things are not wrong. Like the scriptures will tell you to flee from certain things that will make you personally end up in sin. But, or just from experience in general, like staying in the situation is probably what the Most High is looking for from you, just because it's going to take more strength to stay there rather than walking away from the situation. And even though, because I mean, obviously, if you're walking away from it, you're not getting the experience of, learning what to say or learning what things don't work and, certain reactions and responses from those people. You'll learn over time, like, okay, this literally does and doesn't work. So it's literally going through the motions to figure out what people are really looking for. And on top of that, just even in a simple sense, like it's literally definition of like, I just work here. Literally, like anytime you see like videos of people online, stuff like that, people who be like, I just work here, you can literally see that they don't feel anything because they're understanding the grand scheme of how it really has nothing to do with them. And just like the message of like, don't kill the messenger. Like obviously you don't have to say that because some people that will unfortunately make them more irate because you're not taking accountability to their issue. Because like Kasad is saying that they're literally looking for help from you. So even though it really is not, you're really not the problem solver, like it's just giving people kind of what they're looking for, what they need. Because that's really the only thing that's going to, it's the point of like resolving something is because they aren't getting something, like literally to their problem. So if you give them nothing, it's literally going to continue. Literally.
So I suggest that instead of just walking away from that circumstance and and leaving them standing there, I'm gonna tell you what I keep laughing at. But maybe you should just politely say, okay, I'll tell you what, let me get someone that can probably help you further than what I can. Instead of just up and walking away, especially in that circumstance. Because you probably get cussed out and be like, yeah, just do that, and just do that. And be like, okay, excuse me, Mike, come on now.
There are ways
I know it's
to
a
conduct
big
yourself
thing.
with
I
the
would've
people.
gone away.
Because I work at the warehouse where the worst people come in. And I handle it every day. It's like, how can you do that? This is my job.
I know it's something that I have to work on because I actually sometimes do it with my children too. They between the public and my children. But I think
we all got our points of where we can, grow and get better at and do better. And so it's just a matter of, taking the time and staying in it and growing and finding out what you need to grow into and do. Did somebody else have something before we go? So um so we will pick back up where we'll read verse 20 and we'll stop it there and then we'll pick back up next week. Absolutely. Verse 20, we had James 1 and 20. It says, "For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God." And sometimes we should learn to remember that. Like, I know that I can't come off hand because I know that I am going to be um, dealt with from a different angle. So guess what? I am going to, it says, "For the wrath of God, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High." I done said to tell them that's above your pay grade and get your super. So if we remember that we're not supposed to be wrathful, and that wrath, when we become wrathful, that is us trading off righteousness. And that's the sacrifice that we make for that temporary moment to be relieved from the stress or getting that person to back up off of us. And that's something that we definitely don't want to do. And we have to remember that for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of the Most High. So we're going to stop it there and we're going to pick it back up next week. So all praises to the Most High through Yahweh Shai. Any questions before we go?
We're not gonna get started 30 seconds or no?
Yeah, we'll pick it up on the back end. Just put a note there and please let yeah, someone make sure they put a asterisk there and that's where we'll start. So oh wow. Well, all praises to the Most High through Yahweh Shai. I'm glad you was here, and hopefully when that test come back, try a little harder. Don't give up, and just remember, be slow to, be swift to hear, listen and find out what this person is trying to say, what they're trying to ask of you, so that you can be slow to speak and slow to wrath. So all praises to the Most High through Yahweh Shai. Happy Sabbath to you all. Thank you, ladies, for coming. If you just jumped in and you jumped in late, it's okay. Go back. It's definitely on our YouTube page. You can go in and start from the beginning and get it from the beginning. Those that jumped in late and those who just want to jump in and go over it again, all praises. You definitely have that option. But ladies, please make sure you come back, share the class, come back for the Sabbath service with the Elder Shem Shawan. Sometimes I don't see you ladies come back to the class, and it's okay. You're not, your arms is not tied, but definitely asking you ladies to come back to see, to sit in the Sabbath service with the other Shem Shawan for the Sabbath service, 3:30 Central Time. Again, thank you. Invite friends, families, co-workers, neighbors. Remember, we have got to learn. We have got to get to a point that we are one in the unity, so that this is not just an I thing, but this is an us thing. We all benefit from it. So let's help one another the best way that we know how and put in the work and gain each other and help each other on the path. So if there aren't any more questions, we'll end it here. Hold on 1 second. All right, we'll say shalom.
Shalom.
Yes, all praises, lady. You got this, Alexis. Remember, you got it. You definitely got it. If you need help, call me. Reach out. It's okay. Shalom, YouTubers. Make sure you send the class if you can. Give it to someone in their time. Let them know that they do have the help. Ladies, thank you for coming out.
Conference recording stopped.
I was gonna be hurt if it said started.
Wait. Conference has started.
Right. I remember ending it. I just didn't remember if I started it back. Yes, ma'am. How are you? All right, YouTube. Thank you for coming. Shalom, ladies.
I forgot to pack this.